My name's Lee, and today I'm going to be taking you through a longer men's haircut using horizontal graduation. As you can see, Will has quite overgrown hair with very little natural volume. The look I'm aiming to achieve here is a mid-length, versatile haircut, retaining weight through graduation and maximizing texture. This look can be worn out and around the face or tucked away behind the ears. It's important here to choose the correct techniques to get the desired result. I will start by assessing the hairlines, head shape and face shape. Will has great bone structure and balance when it comes to face shape. The first step is to spray down the hair for an evenly damp surface. I like to cut long hair while it's damp for maximum control and efficiency. Let's move on to creating the section pattern. I'm choosing a section pattern which resonates with my goal, to retain weight and maximize texture. I will begin by splitting the head through the center. Then I will make a section from the crown of the head to behind the ear. I'm going to take a deep V zone from the crown to the recession points of the head. This will allow me to have a feature point of the haircut, which will allow versatility. I then created a zone horizontally, just above the occipital bone. This breaks the head down into bite-sized pieces for better control and visibility. I'm going to start by razor cutting my first section near the nape. I'm choosing a length which will retain density but equally be manageable for Will. The horizontal shape of this cutting line is square. This will retain a little more length behind the ears as I am cutting on a round surface. Each subsequent section will be over-directed to the last, creating a triangular shape vertically. This is called graduation. Repeat on the other side. Before moving on, I always check for balance. Once I am happy with how the zone underneath the occipital bone is looking, I will then move on to the zones above. I will release one side at a time, using a piece of hair from the previously cut zone as my guide. Continue the same cutting method, over-directing each subsequent section to the previous, following the theme of graduation. Moving on to the sides now, I want the hair to fall slightly shorter towards the face and increase in length to connect to the zones at the back. The section line will dictate the cutting line here, and body position is going to be paramount to keep the shape of this zone consistent. I'm using a diagonal back section line and standing closer to the front corner of the face rather than the side of the head. Each subsequent section is again over-directed to the previous section. This will create a vertically and horizontally triangular shape. Once I am happy with how the zone on this side looks, I will repeat the process on the other side. Releasing the top section now, I will be utilizing Disconnection for versatility. I will start by taking a profile guide through the center of this triangle zone. To help decide on a length and shape of this zone, I will use a small piece of hair from the front and back of the zone to assess where I would ideally like the hair to fall. I'm using a vertically square cutting line in this zone. This will reduce length near the apex of the head and retain slightly more length towards the front hairline. As you can see, I'm using the razor to cut my line. The trick here is to use the fine teeth of the comb to create tension. Then, with the razor, I am jamming the hair between the razor blade and the thumb, creating a jagged finish. For this technique, it's advised to use the blade with a safety guard. Each subsequent section is then overdirected to the original guide in the center, creating a horizontally triangular shape. Continue through this zone until you have achieved the desired length and balance. Cross-checking is a great way to assess the shape that you have built. You can see here the cutting line increases in length towards the outer edge. Once all of the graduation and layering is complete, I'm going to add a little more movement to the look. Starting at the nape, I will create some irregular channels throughout each section, creating space between the hairs. This part of the haircut is very subjective and can be done in whichever fashion you desire. One thing to notice is that I am using the razor in a more vertical position, running along the hair shaft. Continue throughout each zone. Once I'm happy with how the haircut is looking, I will then move on to the styling. I'm choosing to use matte styling paste. This will add hold and texture to Will's hair, allowing me to create looks his hair doesn't naturally do. I will warm a small amount between my palms and apply to damp hair. A great tip here is to use a wide tooth comb to spread the product throughout the hair and encourage the cuticle layer to lay in its natural position. I will utilize movement clips to encourage and exaggerate movement in areas where I feel it looks best. To dry this look, I will use the diffuser attachment on my Dyson Supersonic on a slow speed setting and a low heat setting. This will allow me to slowly encourage this look into shape. Once I am happy with how the shape is looking, I will change the Dyson Supersonic to a cool setting to cool the hair down. This will help to set the product and keep the hair in good health. Lastly, I will use some texture powder to add some finishing touches to the look, lightly dusting over the whole head and using my fingertips to define. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I did. To see more like this, you can browse through our online resource library. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.